Hello about this. Thanks again for tuning into yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. Please like the video if this is going to help out or whatever. Okay, so we are currently repairing this fuel tank. Bought it on eBay for about $100 and something. It did have a dent on the other side. I already went ahead and I repaired it. Not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see that's Bondo. So you're supposed to Bondo over the metal, not over the paint, and that's what we found on this side. Some idiot, some moron, went ahead and Bondoed over the paint. You're not supposed to do that, okay? You're supposed to, if you apply any Bondo, you're supposed to apply it on the metal. We also went ahead and we sanded this down with a 80 grit, no 60 grit, and that just gives the Bondo a little bit more bite. So what we're doing here, we're doing the hammer pull, or the pull hammer, whatever you call this thing. I haven't worked with this one necessarily. When I was working at the body shop, we had that twist one. You would twist it and lock it. For some reason, this one's just a little bit different. You gotta hold it in this position, put this on there, and then its own pulling factor is what grips it. So you gotta, this locking mechanism, you gotta put it back, and then you see how it kind of grips. That's what grips the actual, the hammer itself pulling on the stud. That's what grips it. So we're almost done with this repair. After this, of course, we're going to apply the Bondo and just make it a little bit straighter. So what we're going to do, obviously, is we got to hold the tank in place. If we have any movement, then whatever movement gets neglected by the hammer, and you won't see any results. So you got to hold it in place and then just tap it a little bit. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is tough to do with just two hands. Let's see if we could hold the tank on this side and apply the, so you can see how it's already starting to come out. Now we have to be careful we don't pull it out too high, and that looks like that's pretty good right there. Just give it a little bit of a twist, comes right off. And like I said, you don't hold this down for too long. I'm not sure if I repeated myself. I probably did, because I'm doing content for TikTok and for the channel. So this is thin sheet metal. I am using the thicker studs. So if you use this for over a second, I say 2 seconds, you are going to burn through the metal. All right, so you have to be a little bit cautious. Remember, whatever curved surface is stretched. The metal itself, it's stretched when it's in a curve. It's a little bit thinner because, of course, when they shape it, they thin it out. So you always have to be a little bit cautious when you're using the thicker studs and this. So what you're doing is you're just pushing it in, making contact, because you got to make contact with this and this so you could weld. All right, I would say just tap it about, let's see if the camera's on, let's just tap it about just like that. That's all you need when you're making contact on the metal. Just a little bit of a tap, that's it. I held it for 2 seconds and it burnt right through it. You hold it for a second, you might burn through it, but I'd say just half of a second tap with the thicker studs. All right, you guys got to keep that in mind. The thicker studs, you have to just give it a little bit of a tap. You will burn through it, and then you'll give yourself more work, and you'll have to weld it. And that's what I had to do on the other side. So what we're going to do now, obviously, is we're going to take my little grinder here, or my little drill. I believe this is a 40 grit, 60 grit. So this is a 60 grit, and what we're doing, we're going to clean up this little weld here. And then we're also going to put a little bit of imperfections for the Bondo to kind of grip and for it to, you know, bite onto the surface. So this looks pretty good. I'm not sure if I went a little bit too high. No, I think we're okay. All right, we're pretty close. This looks already 100 times better. Even if you were not to pull the dent out, let's say you're lazy and you really don't care, you could apply Bondo. I mean, you shouldn't, but if you have to, if you don't have the stud and you have a minor dent, I say 1/8, 1/4 would be the max you would use Bondo on. You don't want to have a thick layer of Bondo because it could, you know, come off, it could crack, you need a very thin amount. I say right here we're looking about 1/8 of an inch of Bondo. It's going to clean it up very nicely. And of course, the key detail is you have to have it on the metal. Okay, do not put Bondo on paint. It's not going to last long. Okay, it's going to fall off. So what we're going to do now, obviously, is clean up with the 60 grit, put those imperfections in so the Bondo can bite. We're going to mix up some more Bondo, apply it, and then of course we're going to feather it and sand it down just like we did on the other side. Anyways, enough rambling. That's how you use the stud welder, the Harbor Freight stud welder on a motorcycle fuel tank, I guess. So let's go ahead and mix up some Bondo, clean this up, and apply it, and we're pretty much ready to finish prepping the fuel tank. What I'm doing here is I'm prepping it for primer. I'm gonna spray it all down with primer because the previous guy that repaired it, it just wasn't, the paint was peeling off for some reason. I'm not sure if he used the wrong mixture or he didn't sand it, the surface. Anyways, I'm just rambling. You guys stay out there, stay safe. Later.